Okay, today we are finally getting to the last two boxes in the wedding sheet. So I hope that you are as excited as I am. The first one we're going to do is the I in wedding, and that stands for indefinite phrases. So if you're talking about something that you are looking for, or that you need, or that you want, but you don't know if it exists, you have to use a subjunctive. So if you're uncertain or whether you're not sure if something exists or not, you have to use a subjunctive. So, for example, quiero una mascota que. Una mascota is a pet. So I want a pet that is really big. I don't know necessarily if that pet exists or not, so I have to use a subjunctive. So it would be sea. The next phrase is hay algo o alguien que, which means is there something or someone that. So is there something that I can eat? I don't know if there is or if there isn't, so I have to use a subjunctive. So it would be pueda. The next phrase, ¿conoces a alguien que? Do you know someone who? For example, do you know someone who speaks French? I don't know if you do know someone who speaks French. That person might exist or they might not, so I have to use a subjunctive. ¿Conoces a alguien que hable francés? And tienes algo que? Do you have something that? For example, do you have something that I need? I don't know if you do or you don't, so I have to use a subjunctive. And I should have a question mark. Do you have something that I need? So these are the most common phrases with the subjunctive indefinite, but there are some others. Just if you don't know if something exists or not, you have to use a subjunctive. So for a little bit of practice, busco un amigo que. So I'm looking for a friend who knows how to dance salsa. I don't know if that friend exists or not, so I have to use a subjunctive. So the subjunctive of saber would be sepa. Busco un amigo que sepa bailar salsa. However, busco el restaurante que, so I'm looking for the restaurant that serves Japanese food. I said the restaurant, which means I do know that that restaurant exists, which means I'm not going to use a subjunctive, right? I'm looking for that specific restaurant, so I know that it's out there. So busco el restaurante que, not subjunctive, but the indicative, sirve comida japonesa. Here, ¿conoces a alguien que tocar la guitarra? So do you know someone who plays the guitar? I don't know if you do know someone who plays the guitar or not. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. So I have to use a subjunctive. Toque. Versus, sí, conozco a alguien que. Yes, I do know someone who plays the guitar. I do know someone, so that person does exist. Therefore, I'm not going to use a subjunctive. I'm going to use the regular indicative, toca. So if you're not sure if something exists or not, you have to use a subjunctive. If you do know that it exists, you do not use the subjunctive. Okay, and the last letter is going to be N for negative phrases. So if you know for certain that something does not exist, you have to use a subjunctive. For example, no I ... K. So there is no something that. For example, there are no unicorns that exist. Sad face. This is going to have to be the subjunctive because I know that it doesn't exist. So it's going to be existan. No I or no conozco a nadie que. So there is no one that, or I don't know anyone that. That person does not exist, therefore I have to use a subjunctive. No conozco a nadie que obedezca, because it's a verb like conocer, todas las leyes. I don't know anybody who obeys all the laws. No hay nada que. There is nothing that. For example, no hay nada que me gustar. So there is nothing that I like. Nothing exists that I like, therefore I have to use a subjunctive. Guste. And no hay ningún or ninguna ... que. So there is not one something that. No hay ninguna comida que yo no, subjunctive, coma, because there is no food that I don't eat. That food doesn't exist, therefore I have to use a subjunctive. So the last letters, I for indefinite, if you're not sure if it exists, you have to use a subjunctive. N for negative, if you know it doesn't exist, you have to use a subjunctive. Thank you.